As a man thinketh. We cannot change past experiences, but we can determine what the new ones shall be like. We can make the coming day just what we want it to be. We can be tomorrow what we think today. The thoughts are the causes and the conditions are the effects. Thought is the only force. Just as polarity controls the electron, gravitation the planets, tropism the plants and lower animals, just so thought controls the action and the environment of man. And thought is subject wholly to the control of the mind. Its direction rests with us. Walt Whitman had the right of it when he said, "Nothing external to me has any power over me." Each of us makes his own world and he makes it through mind. Thoughts are the causes. Conditions are merely effects. We can mold ourselves and our surroundings by resolutely directing our thoughts towards the goal we have in mind. Ordinary animal life is very definitely controlled by temperature, climate, by seasonal conditions. Man alone can adjust himself to any reasonable temperature or condition. Man alone has been able to free himself to a great extent from the control of natural forces through his understanding of the relation of cause and effect. And now man is beginning to get a glimpse of the final freedom that shall be his from all material causes when he shall acquire the complete understanding that the mind is the only cause and that effects are what he sees. We moderns are unaccustomed, says one talented writer, to the mastery over our own inner thoughts and feelings. That a man should be a prey to any thought that chances to take possession of his mind is commonly among us assumed as unavoidable. It may be a matter of regret that he should be kept awake all night from anxiety as to the issue of a lawsuit on the morrow, but that he should have the power of determining whether he be kept awake or not seems an extravagant demand. The image of an impending calamity is no doubt odious, but its very odiousness, we say, makes it haunt the mind all the more pertinaciously, and it is useless to expel it. Yet this is an absurd position for man, the heir of all the ages, to be enhagridden by the flimsy creatures of his own brain. If a pebble in our boot torments us, we expel it. We take off the boot and shake it out. And once the matter is fairly understood, it is just as easy to expel an intruding and obnoxious thought from the mind. About this, there ought to be no mistake, no two opinions. The thing is obvious, clear, and unmistakable. It should be as easy to expel an obnoxious thought from the mind as to shake a stone out of your shoe, and until a man can do that, it is just nonsense to talk about his ascendancy over nature and all the rest of it. He is a mere slave and a prey to the bat-winged phantoms that flit through the corridors of his own brain. Yet the weary and careworn faces that we meet by thousands, even among the affluent classes of civilization, testify only too clearly how seldom this mastery is obtained. How rare indeed to find a man. How common rather to discover a creature hounded on by tyrant thoughts, or cares, or desires, cowering, wincing under the lash. It is one of the prominent doctrines of some of the Oriental schools of practical psychology that the power of expelling thoughts, or if need be, killing them dead on the spot, must be attained. Naturally, the art requires practice, but like other arts, when once acquired there is no mystery or difficulty about it. It is worth practicing. It may be fairly said that life only begins when this art has been acquired. For obviously when, instead of being ruled by individual thoughts, the whole flock of them in their immense multitude and variety and capacity is ours to direct and dispatch and employ where we list, life becomes a thing so vast and grand, compared to what it was before, that its former condition may well appear almost antenatal. If you can kill a thought dead, for the time being, you can do anything else with it that you please. And therefore it is that this power is so valuable. And it not only frees a man from mental torment, which is 9/10 at least of the torment of life, but it gives him a concentrated power of handling mental work absolutely unknown to him before. The two are co-relative to each other. There is no intelligence in matter whether that matter be electronic energy made up in the form of stone, iron, wood, or flesh. It all consists of energy, the universal substance from which the mind forms all material things. The mind is the only intelligence. It alone is eternal. It alone is supreme in the universe. When we reach that understanding, we will no longer have cause for fear, because we will realize that universal mind is the creator of life only, that death is not an actuality, it is merely the absence of life, and life will be ever present. Remember the old fairy story of how the sun was listening to a lot of earthly creatures talking of a very dark place they had found? A place of Stygian blackness. Each told how terrifically dark it had seemed. The sun went and looked for it. He went to the exact spot they had described. He searched everywhere. But he could find not even a tiny dark spot. And he came back and told the earth creatures he did not believe there was any dark place. When the sun of understanding shines on all the dark spots in our lives, we will realize that there is no cause, no creator, no power, except good. Evil is not an entity. It is merely the absence of good. And there can be no ill effects without an evil cause. Since there is no evil cause, only good can have reality or power. There is no beginning or end to good. From it, there can be nothing but a blessing for the whole race. In it is found no trouble. If God, or good, the two are synonymous, is the only cause, then the only effect must be like the cause. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.